Hello guys, welcome back. I hope you're having an amazing day. Today's video is gonna be a little fun one, and it's a question rather that I see going around that I saw and I wanted to share with you guys, and I think it brought about some good ideas and really go out to show how others feel about Black Clover and what they think could happen. So the question is, if you could rewrite or change one thing in Black Clover, what would it be? And so this question can arouse a lot of insights about how fans feel about the series and some good ideas to how certain things should have turned out differently if, maybe one of you guys wrote the story or something, something of the sort. But yeah, as you can see, that's the question, and we're gonna go to some responses. I'm gonna share my thoughts on thus responses, and below in the comments, you guys can elaborate more on some of these responses and even share your own. So let's go ahead. So first comment here we have is Asta's romance. Obviously they're meaning the shipping between Asta and Noel, and so he would write it better. He didn't elaborate as to how he'd write it better, but honestly, what I think the romance between them, Noel being a tsundere, and over time, especially during the Spade Saga, she actually accepted her feelings towards him, and that how much it has helped her grow, right? And it happens. And even Asta deep down, he knows Asta has has a thing for him. But he's a humble lad and he appreciates her in his life and he just goes about it as such. And maybe his feelings towards her would develop later on. It happens in real life too, where someone else would catch feelings later on, even before the other person does. And yeah, I believe Asta and Noel will get somewhere, and I like the way it's been set up already. I don't think I'll change anything about that. But like the black host said here, he wouldn't have read it better. I don't know how better he didn't elaborate, but let's continue. More screen time for Yuno. I've heard this many times. I'm sure a lot of people will agree. Honestly, yeah, the Black Bulls and Asta included got more screen time, especially on the anime, right? There isn't really much emphasis on the Golden Dawn and as a whole. More time when he's training, it's usually off-screen training, or we don't really see him much missions. There are one or two filler episodes of the Golden Dawn going on mission, one if I'm not mistaken, and that's really it. And the Black Bulls really do take up a huge percentage of the story's screen time, and I do believe, yeah, it is true. Could have a little bit more screen time, to be honest. Yeah, but I'm okay with what we have so far, and especially in the manga now, we have some insights as to how Golden Dawn thinks about especially Longress, and I think that really makes up for the lack of screen time the Golden Dawn has and in general. But whatever. Alright, so the next one now, it's during that 15-month time skip, have Noel actually talk to out of Asta instead of just being awkward for 15 months. 15-month time skip. I believe the scan he's referring to is the time skip after Spade. Yeah, I don't really know much about that, honestly. We haven't really gotten much interaction from them since then, especially since Asta went to Alana's run and he can come back now, so we haven't seen them interaction to see how they actually interact with the Spade card. So we'd have to wait more to see about that, especially after Judgment Day arc. Honestly, so the next one now, what I want to go into, I'd probably make it so Libe talks more about Lichita. Make Noel and Asta have a few more moments. So that's from Zeno with Zeno Body 13. He says he'd probably make it so Libe talks more about Lichita. Lichita. The thing here right now is that we really did meet Libe in a moment where it was a desperate need for strength. Immediately after we got introduced to Libe, it's couple days we have to train for the Spade raid, and then after that, after the Spade raid, there isn't really much instances where we could have Libe talk about Lisita. The really moment he got, and a very valuable moment at that, it was after the Spade arc ended. They sat on the clock and they were discussing about how his mother loved him, and even Asta admitted that his mother loved him. You could see that by how the emotions flowing through him through Libe's perspective. He knows that much, and it's true. Honestly, I feel as though Libe could have a little bit more dialogue here and there, but as I said, during the Spade arc, things were a bit hectic. A raid was approaching, war was going on, so there isn't really much time for that. So I do believe perhaps when the war is over, um and the black bulls settle in and they get to know Asta's devil more. I mean, we didn't really get to see what happened during that 15-month time skip, but perhaps after the Judgment Day arc has ended and we have a little layback arc, we could have Asta and Yuno talk about what they've learned and what he needs to know about his mother in general. And that from there we get to see how Libe feels about Lisa stuff, right? And that's pretty cool. I think that might happen. So that might actually still happen in the story. It's not that it might not happen, it can still happen. And he says here that he wants to make Noel and Asta have a few more moments. And few more moments. Yeah, that's true. They could have a few more moments. But I think moments for them will come. As you can tell earlier, what I discussed, that their feelings, Noel's feelings towards him have changed. So her interaction with him will be a more normal, and yeah, through that they could have a little more moments, team ups especially. I think I would love to have them team up in a fight. We haven't really seen them team up before all that, so I think a fight team up between Asa and Noel would be good. Excluding the movie, of course, where they had a little team up going on there, but that'd be really good. And next one from Goho 1 2 3 4 whatever. He says he wants to make the Land of the Sun arc longer, deep dive into more into the new country. This is another one too that many of us agree with. That the Land of the Rising Sun was pretty long. Honestly, it was really long. It wasn't really long. It has the least amount of chapters the least amount of chapters for an arc, especially the Judgment Day arc. That we are really have much chapters. We have like 18 chapters of the Judgment Day arc, and there's like 17 of the Land of Rising Sun. Land of the Sun Rising Sun really doesn't have a lot of arcs. Really, it's really short. It's just really about the training, and then after the training, the fight with the dragon, and that's it. Wrap it up. And then Asta arrives quickly. If you read it honestly, if you read it from start to beginning, you can feel the difference in pacing. It's really fast. It's really fast paced, and I do believe that many has said that they would actually like for the Land of Rising Sun to be a tad bit longer, more into Asta's training, or if it's not his training, it's the world building around the Land of the Rising Sun, more history, right? But I don't know how we could implement that. I'm sure we could come up with ideas as to how to make the arc longer, but it was short. But whatever. Some things you just don't get without the other. And I do believe that the arc was pretty short, but it was really, really good. One of the best arcs in Black Clover, honestly. My best training arcs. Introduced some really good characters in the short span of time. Really fun characters with a lot of potential. And a lot of lore too, especially with one of the Risen members with the scar on his face. The Charmy doll thingy, with potentially that being Charmy ancestor, or even Charmy in general could actually went to the Land of Rising Sun, who knows, or something. So it has a lot of lore and a lot of things set up with just the least amount of chapters. So whatever. He would say he would like a little. He thinks he would like more silly fun episodes. That's from Midnight Fox. Yeah, funny episodes. One thing that carried Black Clover's anime for me was those little nice episodes. I'm not really a huge fan of filler. Filler can get a bit dragging sometimes and really stray off mark, especially non-canon. But filler episodes are fun, and really, I think you could, as we tied into earlier with the Golden Dawn and Yuno in general, if you have more filler episodes surrounding their own Golden Dawn and their interactions, that could really strengthen the bond that we have with some of these members like Longris, David, Klaus, and the others, right? We could have a little bit more training. In general, more wholesome moments with the Golden Dawn. And I think that could be surrounded around some funny, silly episodes that this Midnight Fox person was saying, and that'd be actually interesting. The last one I'm gonna go through now, because the video is actually even longer than I thought it would, because I actually want to do a part 2 to this, honestly. So the last one I'm gonna go from here is Philip. Philip_store. He thinks that it would have been better for the plot if Gaja and Captain Vengeance actually died during the Spade arc. This fight would have felt more intense rather than everyone surviving like usual. There would have been more character development too, just my opinion. Now, this one is really controversial. Many of us think that characters should have died in the Spade Raid arc. Not gonna lie, there's a part of me that do believe this is true, but there's also one side of me that think like it wouldn't really change much for the story in general. I wouldn't really feel anything if none of these characters died, God is a pretty wholesome character, but we literally was just introduced to him upon that Spider Kingdom radar. We wouldn't feel anything. We'd be like, oh, that sucks. The king's loyal henchman just died because, he wanted to save her. That's cute. And he died, and yeah, he would go out like a boss, especially during the likes of Megicula's rampage. But still, I wouldn't really feel it. Captain Vengeance now. This one is a tricky one. I actually think if he perhaps did a sacrificial moment here in the Space Kingdom raid arc, something major, even more major than crafting the Mistine sword for Yami. If he did something way out of his character and something that really goes to show his loyalty to the Clover Kingdom and his overall devotion to Julius in general and to renounce for his sins or whatever, he could have a sacrificial moment in his Space Kingdom raid arc, and that could actually spell out a lot of character development for Yuno, and that would even tie into when the 15-month time skips where Yuno would actually just become the captain of the Golden Dawn just right there and then, and Captain Vengeance is character would be good. That'd be a good character arc for him, really, because his part of the story is really gone now of the Elf Reincarnation arc, and Captain Vengeance is over. But I do believe that Tabata has something set up for Captain Vengeance. A more moments for him to come, because you can't really go out with Vengeance like that. We really haven't seen much. Think about it. Only one huge battle you've seen Captain Vengeance in, aside from the Xenon one where he lost horribly. That's one of the biggest fights, really. And yeah, I feel as though Captain Vengeance needs a bit more moments before he goes out of the story, and that's why Tabata hasn't really off some of these characters. The same goes for Gaja. So yeah, I do believe we could have maybe gotten one of them to die, but honestly, I don't believe that would have been the best move, because I do believe there's more from these characters to come. And yeah, it would have set up some more stakes for the arc and made this arc feel a bit more, ooh, the threat is very menacing and we need to win this war no matter what because people are dying. Yeah, the stakes would have been higher, but it would just be a waste of their characters, I believe. And yeah, that's it. That's how I feel about Gaja dying, especially Captain Vengeance could have potentially died. Yeah, I do believe he could have died in the Spade Raid arc, and that could have wrapped up his character. But I also want a bit more from Captain Vengeance, so I let it slide, honestly. But Gaja, I believe he should have actually lived. And, it really goes to show the strength of Mimos's ultimate magic, so whatever. Yeah, so that's my opinion on his take, and this is the end of the video, guys. If you'd like to tell me how you guys feel about these opinions listed above, if you want to do a part 2 of this video and share your own thoughts in the comments down below, please. And if you like anything I have to say and like more Black Clover content until the next chapter releases, you know what to do. Subscribe, leave a like, and check out our videos, guys. Please take care of yourselves. Peace.